Welcome to part two, everybody, with Mamie Lamley. We are doing a mandala reading, and in part one, we discovered what a mandala is. We learned a bit about the colors and patterns and the techniques. So today, we're diving deeper into more what the colors mean and about the placement of those colors. And don't forget to empower your life's quest. Enjoy.
Well, you have, is that red or pinkish?
Off of the center looking
The
flower,
star.
I have the little petals, and then from the little petals, the little bars going out are pink, and then the outline of the star is in red.
Got it. Thank you. So
You're
let me
welcome.
talk to you about pink. Pink is, so green is that healing color. And the green that surrounds your center is so that you can keep that balance. The balance between the spiritual and the physical. Okay. When we move out into the pink, it's the ability to be heart-centered. And it brings in the balance of understanding that please practice self-love.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, when we refer to energies and colors, pink is the color of unconditional love, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so to love thyself in all its glory and in whatever we actually are to be, or to become. Okay. And that's also part of the balance for you, is a balance of don't beat yourself up so much. Okay. And know that everything will happen in the time that it was made to be in. Okay. With your star of red that surrounds that intuition, that spirituality, the energy center that you bring, I want you to know that there are new beginnings happening for you. And one of your questions was, where am I going? This is a beginning for you. And the quest in your beginning, all things are possible. All things are possible with the balance of both spiritual and physical. Okay? So it's so funny, you got your Odyssey name up there, Brent.
Yeah, I do.
Odyssey is a quest. Odyssey is the adventure. Odyssey is the path of destiny that you're going to choose. And the reminder is keep the balance, okay? Keep the balance. So with the red, it indicates for me that you are on a path of new beginnings, discovery. That's where the intellect probably comes in. You're reading and reading and reading, but you're not just reading, you're reading for purpose. And there is where, for you, the intellect is very important. That is what drives you, Brent, is the intellect actually helps you balance out what is spiritual, what is analytical, and the knowledge that you bring all together. Does that make sense for you?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so funny that hits the nail on the head so well. I mean, I'm just such a bibliophile. and not only that, I'm a perpetual learner. I mean, I've known Mamie for a little while now, and we always have calls. We're involved in several different programs together, but we have calls where we just sit and we talk about random things. And a lot of times we talk about our book collections. We talk about what we're reading, what we have read, and then we combine and we talk and we share. I've taken recommendations from Mamie, sorry. And, I just got finished reading one of the books she recommended to me, and I absolutely loved it. And it totally hits the nail on the head. Perpetual learner, for sure.
And with that red, Brent, it is also about your strong energy, the energy of mind, body, and soul. It's your life vitality. Okay. With the red, I also want you to understand that it also reflects that yin and yang of love and anger. The balance between that. It also lust and hate, complete opposites but balanced. Yes. And the ability for you to understand that with all that combined, there is still change coming for you. So expect change, okay?
Yeah.
Expect the change and be okay about it. It also, let me ask you this. Do you have any circulatory challenges for health?
Honestly, it's funny. I did not when I was younger. When I got in my accident, I broke all four limbs. As some people may or may not know, I know you know,
Wow.
Mamie. And after that, I've had a lot of circulatory issues in my hands and feet, particularly.
Ah,
My torso, I will be physically sweating, like drops of sweat coming off
wow.
my face. My shirt is just wet, and my hands and feet are so cold. It feels like people are pricking me with needles. Like it's painful.
Okay. So
Sometimes,
that
less often now.
oh wow. Okay. So I just want you to be aware that that's part of the color red that I'm seeing here, is be aware of the circulatory challenges that you might have. And again, it comes down to the balance, the yin and yang, right? Hot and cold. Yes, on the extremities. The other thing I want you to keep in mind is that the color red in all its glory also symbolizes life and vitality, which is the core of what you believe in.
Okay.
You have this, I can do whatever it takes, and I will do whatever it takes. Yes?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So with that in mind, I want you to keep that in mind. You know, red is also the color of the awakening, of the abilities that we bring when we are on our road to learning more about spirituality. And so, my goodness, just there in the center holds quite a bit for you, Red. It holds that energy center. It talks a bit about your life, your body, and your life path there. So just be aware of that, okay? And with red, if you take a look at, not if, and with red, use red when you feel that you are not confident. Use red to actually bring that out. Okay? Bring that out, because red is also the color of energy. And when you don't have enough red, sometimes you do need to do some external stimulation to keep your mind, body, and soul active.
So if I use red, I need to move away from what I'm doing now into something different?
No.
Even just temporarily?
Not to move away, just to enhance, knowing that the balance of red for you is going to be green. And look at your mandala.
Yeah.
What have you balanced that center for yourself?
Yeah, that's actually really funny as well, because the first thing I did was I did the gold rings, around the gold outline inside all of the stuff. And then I did the leaves. And then the very next color was red. And I was like, this looks like a Christmas mandala. And then I started peppering all the colors.
Wow. Well, the red, as you when you get tired, use red to introduce that upper, or to stimulate and up level your energy level. Okay. And so from there, the balance of that is green. Okay. And with green, it's about the healing. It's about healing. And for you, it looks like there is a focus on balancing out some sort of healing for yourself. Okay. And you've balanced it. Look at that. You've got the light green and the dark green. And your green is literally perpetuating outwards, as if the flower is opening. for you.
Mm.
Yeah. And so when you take a look at the green, green in all its glory is about life. It's about spiritual growth. It's about actually balancing nature with you. Nature and you. Now, how important is nature for you?
I love nature. I love being in nature. Absolutely. You got to see my backyard. My backyard is filled with, I have palm trees. I'm in Georgia. I have palm trees, rose bushes, butterfly gardens, bonsai trees. I have tons and tons of different types of fruits and veggies that I'm growing. I have a Japanese maple, a giant, 10, 12 foot around circumference Japanese maple. I have tons of plants. Definitely important to me.
Wow. Imagine that. What you just described to me is your ability to be reliable on yourself. Self-reliability. With the different shades of green, it gives us the ability to see that you really are healing. You're trying to balance that part of your life. And with the healing means that you are reliable, you're dependable, you're very open-minded in that aspect. And with the green, it gives you that familiarity of abundance and strength. Okay, so how do we take a look at abundance and strength? Well, the thing is this: when you don't feel like you're strong, you may also have doubts about what you can and cannot do. What's possible for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you can actually balance that both, because it is opposites, you'll be able to be, do, and have whatever you want. Right? Okay. And I know you asked, where are you going? That is going to be dependent on where you want to be. And how are you going to get there? It's going to be about balance in your life. The balancing of the intellectual, which is highly stimulating for you. Okay.
Absolutely.
The intellectual with the spiritual.
Okay.
When you can balance the intellectual and the spiritual, you come to this sense of calmness. And when you can achieve that sense of calmness, you have that ability then to sit down and then plan and strategize in very clear direction on where you want to go. And we talked a little bit about the human design and you being a generator. What does a generator need? A generator needs that ability to create. You can manifest.
Yes.
Generator will do. And you are a doer.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Oh, wholehearted.
You are a doer.
Yes.
Okay. And what you're looking for is do for the spirit and do for the physical. That's where we come into balance for you. Okay. With the green also aligns with your heart chakra. And I want you to keep in mind that it also will give you the ability to go into that higher consciousness. The higher consciousness meaning you transcend the physical plane and then move into the spiritual plane. Okay. And I know from our talks, that's the direction that you've been moving, is from the very physical into the more spiritual.
Absolutely. There's definitely a lot of things that I've incorporated in my life to kind of separate those things, and it's funny that we keep talking about balance, because that is something that I have been working on is how to balance this, how to balance the energies in my life. That's been a true struggle for me, because being before the accident, I was always a very physical individual. And then after the accident and after I had my traumatic brain injury, TBI, I had to relearn a lot of new things, and I got exposed to a lot of new things. And spirituality was kind of one of the things that I really had no idea how much went into it. Like there's just, there's so much out there, and being more sensitive to people's energy and the energy that they put off, and balancing that out has been a struggle. There's been several times where I've been around a group of people and someone invited somebody new, and this person just had terrible energy and I just left. That's how I've had to deal with it right now. My balance is just leaving, and then the other people are like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. Like, it's hard to explain because they're not in a high spiritual space, and they're you know, they don't really care to be, and you know, everybody's got their own opinion and this is mine. And I literally just have to remove myself from the situation to protect everything that I've worked so hard to get.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, totally just resonating on multiple levels.
You know, Brent, this just came to me. The next time you're in a gem store, find a gem that calls out to you, the color green, green, because I believe the color green for you will help you to stay balanced. The color green will also remind you to take that balance between the spiritual and the physical plane so that you can maintain that balance. And you know, the interesting thing is this, to have that balance of green will also calm your heart. And I don't mean the beating of your heart, but you know how sometimes we say, wow, that fulfilled me. Yes.
Yeah.
The green will help balance and fulfill you in that aspect. Okay. And it could be the deeper green. The deeper green could also be another mechanism for you to attract money. The deeper
I'm okay
green.
with that.
Yeah, I know you would be. All right. So it could be a means to attract money, to promote prosperity within the realm that you are now moving into. Okay. And so when you ask, where am I going? I can't tell you where you're going, but I can tell you what I see here, and that is on that spiritual path. The ability for you to move forward from a spiritual perspective, and not necessarily from that analytical perspective. When you take a look at your spiritual perspective, you're developing gifts in that aspect. That's the gifts that you need to start sharing.
Okay.
Okay.
So rely a little more on my intuition, a little less on this.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm getting?
That's what I'm feeling.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And
Gotta
be
get back in
afraid.
tune.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to allow intuition to guide you. Okay. Because it's that intuition that we can be very certain of. And the intuition will lead you to balance. It'll lead you to the energies of nature, into transformation. Okay. It will also allow you to give love unconditionally. Because when we come from that space of heart and spirit, we don't have to doubt where the intentions are coming from. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's the ability that will help you, because the other thing that I'm picking up is you so want balance in your life because there could have been some hurt in your past. Okay.
I think I got a lot of pain.
A lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of anger, some resentment, and there's grief just below that surface. The greens and the yellows will help elevate you, okay, into that next realm where you can begin to feel. And when it feels right, then you get to make those decisions. And sometimes you doubt that feeling of, and that's the intuition part that I'm picking up, And yet, I think you understand that when you followed that intuition, Brent, it made a difference.
Yeah. So when we're talking about intuition, we're talking about that gut feeling that don't go down that dark alleyway, don't, go to the left fork in the trail in the road, like that. We're talking about the feelings that inside of you, where your brain is just like, why did I all of a sudden have that different type of motivation to go this way or that way, right? Yeah. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about intuition.
Exactly.
Okay. And then when we're also talking about the intuition is only good for us, because our intuition serves us. It doesn't serve other people.
So I'm going to reframe that for you. You okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Intuition is intuition. Intuition could be for you, and it also could be for others, Brent. And there could be and let me explain how that happens sometimes, is you might be coaching, and then all of a sudden something comes to you and you're like, I don't know why I have to tell you this, Brent, but da 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 da, and the person looks at you and they go, whoa, I didn't tell you that. How did you know? That is also part of intuition. It's our ability to receive what needs to be felt or said, either on our behalf or someone else's behalf.
Okay. So we can, so it's almost like a channel, and the channel can go different ways, not just one way.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And I think I've told you this. If I think of you 3 times, you'll either get a text, an email, a phone call, or something. That's intuition. And the interesting thing is that when we let that guide our lives, what's amazing is that the person that I usually will connect with would tell me, oh my God, Mamie, I was thinking about you. And here you are on the other side of the telephone, or, oh my God, you just sent me a text and I was just thinking about you. The intuition is where we don't question. We don't question why, where, any of that. It just is. It just is. And when we trust in that, the connections that we make go beyond someone sitting in front of us 3 feet away. Intuition for me has no bounds. It does not know miles. It doesn't have any distance. I was across the world when I got up and said, I need to call home. Something happened to my brother. And at the moment I called home, my mom said, how did you know? And I said, no, what, Mom? And she said, we had a major accident. Your brother fell from the top of a Matson container. And I said, oh my God, is he okay? That was intuition.
Wow.
And so don't be afraid to follow that when it happens, because sometimes when we don't follow through, it weighs on us. Because if there's something that may have happened that we didn't follow through, then we now have to deal with some guilt feelings.
Yeah, I've definitely felt that many times. So for instance, if I'm like, oh man, I haven't talked to Mamie in forever, Mamie, and then how it appears to you would be like, oh man, I haven't thought about Brent in a while. And then you would call or text or email or whatever.
Yeah.
Wow. That is awesome.
That's where it is. Okay.
Very cool.